Have you ever wondered what keeps an aircraft soaring through the skies? Beyond the engines and aerodynamics, the materials used in construction plays a crucial role. Today, we'll explore the non-ferrous metal that make modern aviation possible metal like aluminum, titanium, and nickel alloys. These materials used to ensure planes are strong, lightweight, and safe. Let's dive in. Aluminum, the backbone of aviation. Aluminum is the most widely used non-ferrous metals in aviation or making an aircraft. And for a good reason, it's lightweight, corrosion resistant, and has an excellent strength to weight ratio. Alloys like 2024 and 7075 aluminum are commonly used in the fuselage, wings, and structural components. By reducing weight without sacrificing strength, aluminum helps improve fuel efficiency, a key factor in aviation economics and environmental impact. Titanium, strength under extreme conditions. When it comes to extreme conditions, titanium is the go-to metal. It's incredibly strong, heat resistant, and durable. Perfect for jet engines, landing gear, and critical airframe structures. Unlike other materials or other metals, titanium doesn't weaken at high temperatures, making it essential for supersonic and high-performance aircraft. Fun fact: the SR-71 Blackbird, one of the fastest planes ever built, was made mostly of titanium. Magnesium, the lightweight performer. Magnesium is the lightest structural metal used in aviation, making it ideal for reducing weight in components like gearboxes and seat frames. However, there's a catch: it's highly flammable. Special coatings and treatments are required to prevent fire hazards. Despite this challenge, magnesium weight-saving benefits ensure it still plays a role in modern aircraft design. Copper and nickel, powering the aircraft. While aluminum and titanium handle the structural, copper and nickel keep the aircraft system running. Copper excellence conductivity make it essential for electrical wiring and avionics. Meanwhile, nickel alloy like Inconel are used in jet engines where extreme heat and pressure demand materials that won't fail. Without these materials, modern air travel simply wouldn't be possible. Why non-ferrous metal? So, why are non-ferrous metals preferred over steel in aviation? Three key reasons. 1. Weight savings. Lighter metals mean better fuel efficiency. 2. Corrosion resistance, essential for long-lasting aircraft. 3. Heat and stress resistance, critical for engine and high-speed performance. By carefully selecting these metals, engineers surely aircraft are safe, efficient, and reliable. For conclusion, From aluminum's dominance in airframes to titanium roles in engines, non-ferrous metals are unsung heroes of aviation. They make air travel faster, safer, and more efficient. Next time you board a plane, remember, it's not just engineering that keeps you in the air, but incredibly, materials that make flight possible. Thanks for watching and safe travels.
Hi everyone, it's fascinating how such a giant aircraft can easily take to the air at Celsius. The stainless steel turned out to be even less hot, and the heat made it decrease its elastic modulus rather quickly. Lastly, I tested the superalloy strip, and we can see, even when red hot, this material manages to maintain high stiffness and it didn't bend under the light weight. So this series of experiments proves that what I was sold is really Inconel rather than some dodgy alloy. Looking at the variety curves of elastic modulus with temperature and summing up the result of the conducted experiments, we can see that the elastic modulus of carbon steel decreases significantly when it reaches the temperature of over 600 degrees Celsius, whereas in Inconel it remains at high level until it reaches 760 degrees Celsius, which shows that it's got impressive heat resistance. But how does this unusual alloy manage to obtain its high stiffness even at high temperatures? It turns out that it is its unusual inner structure that gives this alloy its heat resistance. If we look at a piece of regular superalloy under a microscope and zoom in on it, we will see that it's got an unusual granular structure of the mixture of metals, which